My name is Mark Cornetta, and I'm the president and general manager here at 9 News. I just want to welcome you. It's great to see so many people, a great turnout. Thank you for supporting this amazing event, the 9 News Leader of the Year Meet the Finalists. It's always really cool to see what the board came up with in terms of the finalists, and reading through the bios and profiles, I think you're going to be pretty impressed with this great group who you'll meet momentarily. Since '99, we've been doing this, so I guess this is probably the 28th year. If you try to do the math in your head, it doesn't make sense, but you got to count 1999 and 2020 and so on. But for those years, we've been incredibly proud to be a partner of the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation through the Leader of the Year program. For more than 25 years, this partnership has allowed us to shine a light on individuals who lead with purpose, integrity, and impact. Leaders who make a real difference in our workplaces, our neighborhoods, and across the entire Metro Denver area. What makes this program special is that it's not just about titles and achievements, it's about service, it's about vision, and the willingness to step up when it matters most. Today is about celebrating those values and getting to know the outstanding finalists who embody them. We're grateful to the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation for their leadership, collaboration, continued commitment to developing and recognizing those who make a difference in our community and strengthen our region. This program wouldn't be possible without that partnership. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce someone who's been instrumental in advancing that mission, the Executive Vice President of the Denver Metro Chamber, the President of the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation, and that's a mouthful, my friend, Kristen Blessman.
Thank you, Mark. So most of you know, at the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation, we believe in creating a community where leaders with diverse perspectives and different lived experiences come together to learn from one another and to develop deep and meaningful relationships. We all know when you get to know someone on a deeper, more connected level, it's much easier to listen to them, to empathize, and to be open to someone who thinks differently than you. And we have a track record of doing this and creating these spaces at the foundation for over 50 years. And I don't think that this work has ever really been more important than it is today. In fact, I get to learn every single day from the Chamber President and CEO, JJ Ament, who's here in the audience. Thank you, JJ. And my co-EVP, Ray Gonzalez, and the entire Chamber and Foundation team. And I'm really grateful that I get to work with accomplished, smart, and kind individuals. And I have to tell you, we don't always agree. The team can vouch for that. And we don't think alike, but we have deep respect for one another. And today, we all get to hear from 6 amazing individuals from the for-profit, nonprofit, and public sectors. I got to bear witness to their stories, and the impact these leaders had just on our interview panel was incredible. There were tears, laughter, hope, inspiration, and awe for every single one of them. And I think one of the most important things that we do as leaders is inspire people. It's showing that person in the crowd that doesn't think they have what it takes, that they're enough. I'm a living, breathing example of this. The imposter in me as a young woman never would have believed that I could be leading an organization like this. But it took me seeing another female leader paving a similar path for me to believe in myself. So I just have to thank you to our finalists for sharing your stories today, to give the audience here hope for what they can accomplish too. And I know that you're going to do that for everyone in this room tonight. And I do just have to say that we have some Betcher students here this evening with us, and I want you to listen to these stories because you belong up here too, and you're going to accomplish this. So listen and look for yourselves in these stories because they're going to blow you away. But before we begin, we want to recognize the partners who make both the 9 News Leader of the Year Award and the Leading Colorado Luncheon possible. First, A huge thank you to the presenting sponsor of the Leading Colorado Luncheon on March 10th, where we will announce the winners of today's awards, Huntington Bank. So thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And next, our trustee members. We're so grateful for their all-in support of our mission. Anglo Gold Ashanti, the Betcher Foundation, Chevron, Comcast, Daniels Fund, DaVita, Denver International Airport, Denver Water, Empower, First Bank, HCA Health One, Innisphere, Intermountain Health, Philip Morris International, Pinnacle Assurance, Tallgrass Energy, US Bank, UC Health, United Airlines, University of Colorado, VF Corporation, and Xcel Energy. Let's give them a round of applause. And thank you to the entire 9 News team, Mark, Jesse. We're so grateful for your partnership. And thank you for the crew and the staff here at Channel 9. This is an amazing event. We're so grateful to you. I know it's not easy. And we also want to thank a few key sponsors for our Leading Colorado Luncheon on March 10th, where the 9 News Leaders of the Year are going to be announced. So the platinum sponsors of Leading Colorado, DaVita, Molson Coors, and Suncor. Thank you so much for being our valued partners. And thank you also to the Student Leader of the Year sponsor, the Betcher Foundation. Thank you to our scholarship match sponsor, Molson Coors. And thank you also to our gold sponsors, Intermountain Health and the Nature Conservancy. And a special thanks to our silver sponsors who are displayed on the screen. And lastly, thank you to our photography sponsor, NSYNC Photography and Design. So we hope that you'll join us for the big event on March 10th. We make it easy for you. You can scan the code up here. Don't forget to register. We hope to sell out, so get your tickets and your tables fast. And now I want to welcome the new Colorado Region President of Huntington Bank, Brian Kelso.
Wow, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is truly my pleasure to join you all tonight as we honor these remarkable finalists for the 2026 9 News Leader of the Year Award. Since 1999, this award has recognized outstanding leaders in our community, and this year's finalists are absolutely no exception. Each of them exemplifies service, vision, and deep commitment to making our communities across our state stronger. We at Huntington share that same deep commitment to community. Strengthening the communities we serve is central to who we are, because we believe when our communities grow stronger, our company grows stronger. And at Huntington, we bring that purpose to life through action. And through their actions, tonight, finalists help set the standard for leadership in our communities and inspire others to serve with the same commitment. So a huge thank you to Alicia, Carlos, Al, Eve, Angie, and Raju for your leadership, dedication, and the lasting impact you have all made on our communities and our state. Leadership like yours is what makes Colorado strong, but it also serves as a reminder to us all that each of us has a role to play. So let's let these incredible individuals motivate us all to take action and make a positive difference in our communities so that Colorado can continue to thrive in the years and decades to come. And with that, I'm pleased to turn things over to our friends at DaVita. Welcome the Director of DaVita Giving Foundation and Director of the Village Giving, Lisa Gardner. Here you go, Lisa.
Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Liz Gardner. I'm with DaVita. We're a global kidney care company that are proud to call Denver our home. So for all of you student leaders, keep us in mind as you are pursuing your careers. I really wanted to just take a quick moment to join us here tonight on behalf of DaVita to congratulate all of these remarkable finalists. For me, when I think about why I joined DaVita, one of the things that stands out for me is our differentiated company culture, which we lovingly refer to as the DaVita way. And for us, this means that we care for each other with the same intensity that we care for our patients, that we care for in our centers each and every day. And we see this belief in action every day through many of our core values, such as continuous improvement, accountability, team, fulfillment, fun, and a few others. And tonight is so special to DaVita, and why we have stand alongside each and every one of you is because each and every one of you finalists share that same DNA. You are leaders who put community first and who exemplify, probably, I'm sure unknowingly, the core values that we hold so dear at DaVita. You all prove to each and every one of us and are an inspiration for our future leaders that when passionate people come together to solve problems, the entire state of Colorado and truly beyond wins. So again, I want to echo a huge thank you to 9 News, to the Leadership Foundation for letting us come alongside you. I'm here for this special event. And thank you again to our finalists for inspiring each and every one of us to dream bigger and to lean in and to do just a little bit more. With that, I am pleased to introduce the Betcher Student Leader of the Year, to turn it over to the Vice President of Grants and Programs for the Betcher Foundation. We're butchering these introductions. Tiffany Anderson.
It is my honor to be here on behalf of the Betcher Foundation for the best part, I think, of this evening, because I get to introduce 9 incredible student leaders, so the Betcher Student Leader of the Year finalists. At Betcher, we believe in the promise of Colorado and the potential of Coloradans. It's always my favorite to talk next to a very large picture of myself. Potential of Coloradans, sorry, I got distracted. We do that by investing in the people, the programs, and the organizations across the state, because that lays the foundation for transformational impact and community building. Annually, we are proud to partner with the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation to recognize these outstanding students who are proudly representing their campuses, their programs, and their communities. By sharing their stories, this is one way that we elevate and build up Colorado's doers and difference makers as an example for others. You are going to see that each of these 9 individuals exemplifies the selection criteria that we use for this award, which is extraordinary leadership on their campus, in their community, and in their leadership programs, exceptional community service and commitment to others, outstanding character, and academic achievement. We have 8 of the 9 finalists here, so I know you're missing class and many other things. Thank you for being here today. What I am going to do is I'm going to talk about each one of you, and then you are going to stand up and listen to me say amazing things about each one of you and be slightly awkward. It's going to be great. But that way all of these individuals in the room know who you are, so they can come and connect with you afterwards. All right, we're going to start with Steffi Calero Ayala. Steffi is a junior at Metropolitan State University at Denver, where she is a double major in biology, psychology, and a minor in chemistry. Yes, clap for Steffi. Steffi is a first-generation college student and a Dream US scholar whose journey is grounded in resilience, purpose, and a deep commitment to equity. She aspires to become a physician and is driven by the belief that quality health care should be accessible to all. Beyond the classroom, Steffi serves in the MSU Student Government Student Advisory Council, supports campus initiatives focused on equity and access, and mentors peers as a patent scholar and a Biology 1 teaching assistant. Thank you, Steffi. Sophia Fagali. Sophia is a senior at the University of Colorado Boulder, a Betcher scholar, and a proud student leader in the President's Leadership class. Originally from Grand Junction, Sophia is pursuing her undergraduate degree in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology and is in the pre-med track, along with has minors in leadership studies, music, and biochemistry. She is passionate about serving underrepresented and underserved communities through medicine and advocacy. At CU Boulder, Sophia has spent the last 3 years on the PLC Student Bridge team, where she's connected students across the campus and across the state. She has co-created multiple initiatives and is currently helping do a statewide student summit with the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation that is happening later this week. Thank you so much for everything, Sophia. Jean Cook. At the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, Jean studies theater and dance and is living out what she calls everyday leadership, the belief that small acts of kindness can create extraordinary change. She directs music in her church and performs in a vocal group called the Ginger Snaps with her mother, who is here tonight, by the way, and serves in the United States Air Force Reserves, where she has earned 2 top distinctions, the Basic Military Training Honor Graduate and Top Female in Physical Fitness. Grounded in family, Strengthened by service and fueled by connection, Jean Cook leads not for recognition, but to make life better for those around her. Thank you, Jean. Haley Graham. Haley Graham is a first-generation college student at the University of Denver, originally from Casper, Wyoming, where she was homeschooled until she started a dual enrollment program where she earned associate's degrees in both political science and Spanish. During this time, she developed a commitment to international advocacy and immigration law, which led her to DU for the high-ranking international studies program and the Colorado Women's College Scholars Program. At DU, Haley has traveled to 8 countries. She's learned Swahili through the Critical Language Scholarship and has become nearly fluent in Spanish as well. She works at the Office of Career and Professional Development, where she enjoys connecting with students and caring for the office fish, wasabi. Thank you, Haley. Caitlin Lamberton. Caitlin is also a senior at the University of Denver, pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology with minors in Mathematics and Leadership Studies. Caitlin is a University Honor Student and an active member, along with a student board member in the Pioneer Leadership Program, where she's known for leading with integrity and purpose. Caitlin's academic and research work is deeply rooted in a commitment to breaking cycles of intergenerational trauma and strengthening family systems. As a bilingual advocate and intern with many community nonprofits that serve Spanish-speaking and under-resourced families, Caitlin bridges research, leadership, and lived experience to create meaningful change. Thank you, Caitlin. Daniel isn't with us this evening, but I want to tell you a little bit about Daniel. Daniel Baker is committed to service, and it took root far before he entered college. Since age 18, he has worked in public safety and now serves as our community as a paramedic, bringing calm, skill, and compassion to people on their worst days. Daniel is a senior majoring in American politics with a minor in leadership, while also completing his medical school prerequisites at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. He's the founder and the deputy chief of operations for UCCS EMS, where he has helped to shape system and quite literally is saving lives. Daniel led the implementation of a pre-hospital whole blood transfusion program for the entire Pikes Peak region, an initiative that is helping to reduce mortality and alter outcomes for critically injured patients. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm assuming he is doing something important right now. Ben Braun. Ben is a senior at the University of Colorado Boulder, majoring in physics with minors in applied mathematics and business. His leadership extends far beyond the classroom. Ben has organized large-scale conferences and led national collaborations among multiple institutions, helping to create welcoming communities in physics departments across the country. Most recently, he played a key role in organizing the Colorado Undergraduate Physics Conference, bringing together over 120 students to share their research. Grounded in service, humility, and empathy, Ben leads by standing with others and empowering them to succeed. Thank you so much, Ben. McAllister Johnson. I love that. McAllister is a senior at Colorado State University, majoring in human development and family studies with minors in leadership and gerontology. Her academic journey began with a single moment of curiosity in her freshman orientation when a professor spoke about the aging process and what it means to grow old as humans. Whether it's volunteering at the Fort Collins Senior Center to working at the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, McAllister has sought out relationships that show what a life well lived looks like. On campus, she leads through student government, college ambassadorship, and mentorship, always focused on creating belonging. Looking ahead, McAllister plans to serve older adults through occupational therapy or hospital administration, advocating for dignified, person-centered care. Thank you so much. All right, as you can tell, we have an impressive community of leaders and doers and difference makers here. We just want to take this moment from Betcher, from Tiffany, to say thank you. Thank you for all you are doing. We are so proud of you to be your Student Leaders of the Year on your campus and finalists for the Betcher Student Leader of the Year, and please keep doing what you're doing. And at this time, we can only have one Better Student Leader of the Year, so I do want to announce who our 2026 Better Student Leader of the Year is. It is my honor to say Derek Downs is our 2026 Better Student Leader of the Year. All right, Derek, are you ready for this? Derek is a senior at Colorado State University Pueblo, where he's pursuing a bachelor's degree in construction management with a civil focus, along with a minor in leadership at the President's Leadership Program. Born and raised in Alabama, Derek joined the United States Army in 2003, where he served 4 years, which included an 18-month deployment to Iraq. After being discharged from Fort Carson in 2007, he made Pueblo his home, a community he continues to give deep commitment. Like many veterans, Derek faced some significant challenges after returning home, which included homelessness, addiction, and incarceration. In 2021, his life changed through the Veterans Treatment Court, a program that helped him regain accountability, purpose, and direction. Today, Derek proudly gives back as a veteran mentor, supporting fellow veterans on their path to recovery and reintegration. He is also a peer support specialist, using his lived experience to help others find hope and stability. Now, 4 years into recovery, Derek has earned his associate's degree. He's almost to complete his bachelor's degree, and he believes that education is the key to recovery. His leadership is rooted in empathy, service, and accountability, and his story stands as proof that no matter where we are in life, transformation can happen. This year, we are proud to honor a Student Leader of the Year whose path reflects the many ways that we experience and become leaders. For the first time since we started this award, the Student Leader of the Year brings a richer life experience than the many traditional students that have had this recognition in the past. Derek's journey reminds us that leadership is never about age or title. It's about action, impact, and a willingness to serve. Leadership is an activity that anyone can do, and Derek's life and leadership is a demonstration of that lesson very powerfully. Please join me in congratulating and celebrating Derek Downs. We're supposed to pretend like I'm giving you an award, I think. All right, and this is my pitch. If you haven't done so already, please register for the Leading Colorado Luncheon. You're going to hear more about Derek's story there. Thank you so much for letting us do this. Thank you, 9 News, for hosting, and I'm excited for the panel.
Wow. Okay. You students, every time I hear what you have accomplished, I am blown away and wondering, what was I doing at your age? You're amazing. And Derek, wow. I just have to tell you, that got to me. It's amazing what you've accomplished. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your story. I can't wait to hear more at the luncheon. Okay. So with that, now I'm welcoming up 9 News anchor Alexandra Lewis. Come on up and join us. She's going to be hosting the panel, and we get to meet our leaders. So with that, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. It's nice to see all of you guys, some familiar faces and some new ones. My name is Alexandra Lewis, for those of you who don't know me. I've been here at 9 News for 7 years as an anchor, now at the 3 and 9 p.m. show. Been a part of this event for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's always a day that I really look forward to. Like Kristen said really beautifully, you do leave inspired and empowered and racking your brain about how you can leave a bigger footprint on the communities that you serve, and we know today will be no different. So thank you all for being here. Also, thank you and welcome into our viewers who are watching on 9news.com, because we are streaming this event, so no pressure. But I think I have the fun job today, because I get to help make you all shine, which is a really easy thing to do, and then let all of our viewers and all of you in this room get to know them a little better. So enough from me. Without further ado, I have the great honor of introducing our Leaders of the Year. And we will start with our for-profit finalists this year. for Profit Leader of the Year award recognizes executives and entrepreneurs who demonstrate exceptional leadership, ethical business practices, and a deep commitment to Colorado's economic and civic vitality. Now retired, the former market executive for global commercial banking for Bank of America Colorado, please help me welcome Raju Patel. A managing partner for Launch Legal, Yevgenia Muchnik. Now on to our nonprofit finalists for this year. The Nonprofit Leader of the Year award recognizes nonprofit executives who lead with true purpose, building strong partnerships, delivering measured impact while addressing some of Colorado's most complex social and environmental challenges. No easy feat. Please welcome our finalists this year, CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, Alicia Cook. And State Director for the Nature Conservancy of Colorado, Carlos Fernandez. And finally, our public sector finalists. The Public Sector Leader of the Year award recognizes leaders in government who champion collaboration, elevate community voices, and truly advance policies and systems that improve quality of life for all Coloradans statewide. Please welcome our finalists this year, the Executive Director of the Denver Department of Public Safety and our Deputy Mayor for the City and County of Denver, Al Gardner. Hi, Al. And last but certainly not least, the former Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Higher Education, Dr. Angie Paccioni.
Guys. Thank you. So we're going to start. Can you guys hear me with my microphone? I can project. It might not be on, but I'll talk loud. Don't even worry about it. So let's kind of just break the ice a little bit. So this first question will be for all of you, and it's kind of a fun one. Think outside the box, if you will. If there is one word that you could use, or someone else, let's put it this way, that someone else might use to describe your leadership style. You can explain just a little bit, but we want to keep this round kind of quick. What is that one word that would describe you as a leader? You want to start with you, Dr. Paccioni?
Sure, absolutely. And can you hear me as well? Okay.
How are we with sound?
I don't.
I'm getting some no's.
Okay, we're getting thumbs up. Everyone who knows me will know the word is activator, because I believe that everyone has potential, but it's up to us as leaders to activate that potential. And that's what my passion is, to activate potential in every interaction, every day.
Well said. Al?
I push. I think those that work for me would definitely say that I'm a pusher in a good way. If I see and believe you can do it, and sometimes I see it where people can't see it themselves, I will push you. Yeah.
For me, the world is inclusive, from tribal nations to ranchers, from the business community to academia. I'm a firm believer that the room is smarter than any single one of us, and so better decisions and better actions can take when we are inclusive, and that we can, as the old saying goes, you know, if you're going to go fast, go alone, but if you're going to go further, go together.
For me, my word is brave, and not because I'm fearless, it's because I always show up for my community, and I have a unique audacity to hope.
My word would be translator. I operate in worlds that don't speak the same language, between regulators, policymakers, founders, entrepreneurs that want to move fast and break things. So getting them in the same room and making sure that they're understanding each other and speaking the same language is paramount.
And my word is servant. I'm there to serve my team and my community.
Beautiful. You all picked incredible words that are so uniquely different. So that was awesome. Thank you. Raju, we're going to get a little deeper, and we're going to start with you, if you don't mind. you have this incredible story of coming to this country and then going on to lead one of our community's most respected financial institutions. Share with our audience a little bit about your story and who you are, and then if you could, share an instance where your background helped you be the leader that you've become today.
Sure. I'm an Indian immigrant who was born in Africa, moved here when I was 7 years old. My dad packed up his suitcases and came over, and it's the quintessential immigrant success story. We worked hard. We got an education. I was the first one in my family to get a college degree. And then after that, I got my first job and worked at Bank of America for 40 years. And also learned from my father that it's important to be successful in your career, but also to give back to the community. And when I was young, he would volunteer at the Lions Club. So I learned to volunteer at not-for-profits. And I do that today. I volunteer my time, my money, and sit on the board currently of 3 Denver, Colorado-based not-for-profits.
I have a follow-up question for you that I think a lot of people in this room might be interested in. You've been instrumental in this redevelopment of downtown, and I'm curious what you think the current business leaders of today, how they can impact this and make it, bring the entire vision to fruition, because it's still very much a process, right?
Yeah, I sort of view downtown as sort of the spine of Denver and Colorado. So downtown Denver is really where we get our strength. It's the gathering place, and we've seen tremendous change with the improvement of 16th Street and revitalization. We've got a lot more to go. Safety's gotten a lot better, even though the perception isn't there. I see it as a downtown resident and also a downtown office worker that downtown has really improved on the safety perspective, but the perception still needs to be improved. And I feel like we've turned a corner and we're back on that growth track that Denver, Colorado has been on for many years.
Thank you for sharing. Yeb, I'm going to move over to you and ask you a similar question and just sharing your background and your story and how that shaped you to be the leader you are sitting in front of us today.
So I actually share a very similar story to Raju. I am the product of 2 people who saw an opportunity, and along with my parents, we immigrated to the US from the former Soviet Union, now Ukraine, when I was 6 years old. And as we landed in Chicago O'Hare and made it through that international runway that's still there and was there almost 40 years ago, they walked into a new land of opportunity, a new land, or a new world with new rules. So they didn't have a blueprint. Watching them chart out their own course, not having a manual, really shaped me, who I am today. And in looking at things through the lens of opportunity. So even when I was 6, I started my own business. I had a dog walking business. I had kids that worked for me. I don't think I paid taxes, but it worked out. But as I grew up, I was driven to justice, and that led me to go to law school. And using the same skill set that I did with my parents in translation, I wanted to translate the law for founders, for entrepreneurs, to make it accessible, to make it understandable, and something that is malleable and something that can be, a tool to do something good with.
Amazing. And you advise tech companies, you help shape policy, you're really uniquely kind of in this crossroads of innovation, responsible innovation and practice. What does that look like? How do you navigate that space? It seems difficult.
Well, I try to keep my clients from wearing orange jumpsuits, so that's number one. But I work in crypto, and it's a gray regulatory area, so it's continuously evolving. And one thing that I do is take part in the policy making. So I've been a part of sound policy work and advocacy work both at the state level and at the federal level in trying to shape this policy and make it long-term, long-lasting, and transparent. Also something that keeps innovation on shore and in Colorado for the long term.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move over to our public sector finalists. So you guys are in the hot seat now. Dr. Piccioni, I'm going to start with you. You have this incredible story of overcoming your own limiting beliefs and how you got past this. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that today?
Sure, I'll do that. And the limiting beliefs were not only mine, they were actually limiting by our society because I was born at a time. My mom is black and my dad is white. I know that. I don't know him. I don't have pictures or anything, but I know he was white. That was a joke, but nobody. Anyway, and at that time, it was still illegal in many states for them to be married. It wasn't until 1967 that Supreme Court passed that. But also, it was before the Civil Rights Movement, the Voting Rights Movement, so society constrained as well. And then because of that, being biracial, was in some places, I faced a lot of rejection. And so when I went off to Stanford on a basketball scholarship, I wanted to be accepted because I was 18 years old and I'd had a lot of rejection in high school. And so, so when people would ask me what I was, because some of you know what that question is, what are you? And I would always say that my dad was Italian and that my mom is from Curacao. Because I knew that most people don't know what the people of Curacao look like. And it was true. My family comes from Trinidad and Curacao. Anyway, so it took me a while to be able to come to grips with my own ethnic identity. Once I did, that set me free, if you will, to be the woman that I am today.
What about this uncle I've heard about?
My Uncle Mo. My grandpa had, this is my mom's dad, had a restaurant in the Bronx where I grew up, and my Uncle Mo was his right-hand man. And my Uncle Mo he never met a stranger, and every person that came into the restaurant he treated as if they were the only customer. And I watched that growing up. I watched how my Uncle Mo treated people, and he treated everyone with the greatest kindness and with the greatest focus. And I thought, wow, that is amazing. And I didn't know I was learning at that time because I was young, but and I think he might be watching. So Uncle Mo, you know it's because of you that I am the way that I am.
So sweet.
I tell him that on his birthday every year. And now he says, I know.
Still loves to hear it, I bet.
Yes.
All right. Al, you've had an incredibly successful career here in Colorado in the private sector, then the public sector, but you also had a tough start in school. Could you share a little bit about your earlier years?
I'll start with Raj confirming the fact that safety is on the upswing in Denver. It's doing quite I'll say, one of my favorite writers is James Baldwin, and he has a saying that says, not everything faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And I like to refer back to that. In school, I probably went to about 8 elementary schools, if not more, who knows? I mean, we grew up in a situation where there was a lot of instability. Sometimes we'd have to leave houses in the middle of the night because we couldn't pay for them, right? So it was a very difficult time. In the mid to late 70s, a lot of kids, especially black male students, were being placed in special ed a lot. Not for the fact that they could not learn, but sometimes they were put in this very particular category. When I got to college, I actually learned that I could learn late in life. And that's been important to me. It's been a huge driver because I always now find that I can see the person in the back of the room that nobody's paying attention to. And it's translated to my leadership abilities because I can see that person hiding in the cubicle that hasn't been seen. And a lot of times people tell me, once we're finished, thank you for seeing me. And that's how that's driven a lot of what I do now.
It's beautiful. You've worked very deeply in equity and oversight. I feel like this might be a tough question, but how have you been able to try to instill trust in systems that are highly distrusted?
You know, I find it easy. I tell the truth. I tell the truth whether or not it's comfortable. I tell the truth when it's difficult to hear. And what I find is people will trust you quickly when they know that you're going to tell them exactly where you are. And in equity and a lot of work like that, I'm not trained in it. I've been asked to speak at conferences about it, and I ask people, are you sure? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. And in those instances, I find that people appreciate that most, and I think I've been able to be relatively, I don't know, successful in some areas by just being honest about how a reality makes me feel. And that's been helpful.
I have a question for the both of you, because you've both led in very visible, highly scrutinized roles. Does that ever get to you? How have you kind of let those pressures, get to you, and how do you stay grounded in moments like that?
Well, those people who know me know that I was born for that. And so I love to be up front, out front, and making a difference in every which way that I can. And so whether it's in the community, whether it's in schools, whether it's with the department and on campuses. And so that doesn't ever scare me. And I think maybe Uncle Mo had something to do with that too. But so it is true. We are under scrutiny, and especially things like higher education, which right now is undergoing a lot of scrutiny. And so you have to know where you are to know where you want to go, and then analyze what is the gap and how can you fill that gap, either by yourself or with your trusted advisors. And so for me, staying grounded means I'm close to the students and also the presidents and chancellors of our university, so that I know what's going on.
Al?
I remember what feeds me. Number one, my why I'm doing this. And it's not for the money, it's not for other things. I remember why I'm doing it. The second thing is family and friends, to be honest with you. I have a really brilliant wife that takes on all of that that I bring home every day, and the ability to share that with somebody else, and my friends who listen and reaffirm me a lot of times that you're not necessarily what you see or what you hear or what people say. This is who you are, and that's what fuels me.
Very real answers. I appreciate that. I'm going to move to the center of our panel here and talk with our nonprofit finalists. And Carlos, I will start with you, because I understand you had a long-term kind of plan for your life, and that changed very drastically. Talk to us about the pivot and how things change and how you press forward and you become who you are right here.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. As you can see from my accent, I come from south of the border, not New Mexico, not Texas. I come from very, very far from Argentina, over 8,000 miles away from a place called San Rafael, Mendoza, in the central west part of Argentina. For those of you Malbec lovers, that's where Malbec come from. For those of you who love mountains, that's where the Aconcagua mountain is as well, 22,000 feet. And for around 15 years, I worked as a lawyer. I grew up in a small town. I grew up connected to the land, to a farm as well. But then I went to a corporate law area, working on finance and securities. But one year, usually my family used to get together between Christmas and New Year's Eve to do a balance of the year. And I have a younger brother, he's a doctor. And he looked at me and said, how many lives have you changed this year? How many lives have you saved this year? What's the difference that you have made? Because I was very proud of talking about how many transactions I have been able to help and how many advanced, and this company bought this other company. And he looked at my eye and asked that question. And that was 23 years ago.
Wow.
And I never thought that that moment over dinner would basically change my life to try to do something different. So I joined the Nature Conservancy first as an attorney for the 7 countries in the western part of Latin America, moved back to Washington, D.C., where I have been studying. I went to law school in Argentina and then in D.C. as well. And then after 6 years, I had the honor of being invited to open the first program of the Nature Conservancy in Argentina, in Patagonia. So I did that for around 6 years. And 11 years ago, I was very lucky to be an immigrant, first-time immigrant to this country as well, to raise a family in Colorado. We're very, very lucky and proud to live in a state like Colorado.
Talk about your work, because you build partnerships across tribal nations, media, government. When I think of leadership, collaboration is right there at the top of the skills you need. Talk to our audience about being a good collaborator and how you make all this happen.
No, I appreciate that very much. And I really think a lot about kind of collaboration, as I mentioned before as well, that thinking as leaders as well that, we're just kind of one step, that the room is smarter than in any one of us as well. And what I keep thinking about the layers of collaboration as well is literally what do we need and how do we connect it to a land? From my perspective, nature is common ground. We all need nature to live. It's from clean air to clean water. It doesn't matter from where you come from. We have a common, not only a common need for nature, but also a common goal to protect our home planet. And I have been very lucky that, again, from bringing the two tribal nations who are the Federal Register tribes, Ute, Mountain Ute, and Southern Ute, in our board as well, and working with them, as I mentioned, to the ranching community, to business, agreements with, I mentioned a few of the relevant names nowadays, like Vail Resort, for example, working on water. In a year like this one, that would be very, very relevant, as we know. Literally, this is 26 years of a big drought as well. And literally is the year that the snowpack has broken records since 1896. Mm-hmm. So if I go around and have this conversation to all of you, many people do like this. Yeah. That is finding common ground. Thank you.
Thank you. Alicia, your leadership journey has truly been shaped by resilience, by mentorship. It's essentially what you do every day, but take us back to the younger years and how that shaped you to who you are, the leader you are right now.
Well, a lot of people know my story, but I was born in the inner city of Detroit during the 1967 riots. My mom was police escorted to the hospital. I was born to a teen mom, and I was born in an area called the Black Bottom of Detroit, and it's an area that was most affected by the riots and is just now recovering. But I learned very young about mentorship, about resilience, and about hope. I am so proud to be from Detroit because my life mirrors that of many of the youth that we serve. And it was because of mentors in my life from a very early age, from 8 years old to 15 years old to 21 years of age. I knew I had potential in me. I believe all children are born with potential. We don't all have the same access to opportunity. And it was mentors in my life who opened doors for me, who introduced me to social capital, who took me all the way to Japan, which I had never left a 50-mile radius of my home. And it was mentors from the community who did that for me. I have a great family, but I'm a first-generation high school and college graduate. So they did the best they could with what they had. So now it's so important to me to pay it forward. And we've adopted something called Mentor Life, to always have someone investing in you and to pay it forward by always investing in someone else. And also, I believe mentorship does not just transform the mentor and the youth. We transform lives, we transform communities, and we leave a lasting impact on future generations.
So true. Your personal brand does so much for your organizational style and your leadership. Teach us your ways. How do you do that? We can all benefit from leaning into our own personal brand, truly.
I almost wore all green, but then I thought green screen TV.
There you go, smart woman.
Yeah, but for me, my personal brand is about people. Like I said, I believe all people are gifted. I believe people are all good. And I believe that communities are, when we pour into our communities and we love our communities, people are burdened by so many circumstances, by lack of opportunity. And also, I believe we need to come together, especially right now. And I'm so proud when I look out into this audience, because this is my community, and you will see my community as of every race, age, socioeconomic level, everything. And that's what I want to see everywhere. We need each other. And so my personal brand is about bringing people together. My personal brand is about making sure that people know each other and love each other, because it's hard to hate up close, and we need that now more than ever. So if you came to my house to a party, you would see a rainbow of people and a rainbow of love, just like the people who showed up for me today, and I'm very thankful.
World would be a better place if we all operated in that mindset, that's for sure. A question for both of you, Carlos and Alicia. You both lead mission-driven organizations, and there has been so much change in how nonprofits are funded and how they move. How do you stay positive amidst the change?
Happy to go. You know, many of us have been hearing lately that action is the antidote as well to anxiety. And I try to go a tiny bit more and put purposefully action is actually the antidote to anxiety. We have so many things to do every single day. We cover about snowpack, but we can talk about drought. We can talk about how many more years we have of the Colorado River. We can talk about 24 million acres in Colorado forest, and 6 million acres need more, literally deep, urgent action before summer as well. So to me, I literally every morning I think about what am I for. I'm not thinking about what am I against, because otherwise I would be completely stuck into literally not being able to move away from my bedroom. What are we for, and who do we need to do it? How can we give a hug to this woman and work together, live in this studio as well? That is what literally kind of brings me the level of energy as well that I can work, and an amazing team and family and friends, and I have several of them here, so deeply grateful.
And for me, people tell me that I am positive all the time. They tell me I'm the word toxic positivity. I don't necessarily believe in that.
Don't receive that.
Because I just believe, especially when I think about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, we're a 108-year-old organization. We've survived wars, we've survived civil rights, we've survived every administration, and we're still here, and we're still strong, and we're still changing lives. And that's because it's about relationships. If you have good relationships, if you give to your community, it will come back to you. And if you truly, truly believe in your mission, we will be okay. And I know Big Brothers, Big Sisters will always be okay, because we are about creating leaders, transforming people, and loving people. So my positivity comes from my community. It comes from the way I was raised. Although it was hard, there ain't nothing I can't overcome because of the way that I was raised. And my positivity comes from my children and my mentors, even those that have passed on. They've left a great legacy for me, and now I can't not be positive and not try to do my best to leave a legacy for the kids we serve and for my own children. So.
Wonderful. No more division here. The questions from here on out are going to be for everyone, and we'd love to hear from each of you if we could. So just think, respond in sound bites, as we like to call it, just nice and succinct, but definitely take your time and get your point across. So this question is for all of you. So be thinking about a specific moment in your life, and this can be personal or professional, but that truly fundamentally changed the leader that you are. Personal or professional. And let's start, Raju. We haven't heard from you in a while. We'll start over here.
Sure. For me, I think it was when I was in college. I was struggling my freshman year, and I was fortunate to run across a mentor that really helped me turn around after I was struggling academically and mentally. And that mentor made a big difference and really helped me turn around in college. And it's been a long time, but it was a real pivotal turning point for me personally.
For me, when the Russia-Ukraine war started 4 years ago, me and a group of other organizers from across the globe came together and raised millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. We deployed that crypto for humanitarian efforts and needs, and using the power of blockchain, which gets it instantaneously without middle people and banks and intermediaries like that. We got it to people who needed it most. So, families that were trying to cross the border that needed money for taxis. But seeing that level of coordination and agnostic technology as a tool that allowed that to happen was mind-blowing for me. That totally changed my perspective to this day on how people can coordinate around good and use technology for good.
For me, it was when I was 21 years old. One of my mentors encouraged me to go study in Japan. And you can imagine what that was like for a child who had barely left a 50-mile radius of their home. And it seemed impossible to me. So this mentor took me to see the iconic, beautiful black icon, Susan Taylor. And when I told her all the reasons I wouldn't go or I couldn't go or whatever, she looked at me as only Susan Taylor can, and she said, "Go, my sister, go." And I've been going ever since. And now it's made me how I lead, how I tell my team, my children, my community is always, go, my sister, go, my brother, go, let's do this. We can believe the impossible. And it's rooted in I rise, as I climb, I rise. I lift others and I pull them up, because just like Raju said, there is no one in this room who is sitting where you are today without a mentor who helped you, guided you. So it's through that mentor, and Susan Taylor is still my mentor today. But my motto is, go, my sister, go, my brother, go, my child, go. Great things can happen.
That's awesome.
Carlos.
In my case, I grew up in Argentina during the military dictatorship. And so I was a student leader as well. And my father called me one day, showing me black and white pictures of me taken by military intelligence, as well as being potentially in the line for trying to defend democracy and trying to defend what I thought was right for me. And so 1983 was that year that Argentina went back to democracy. I kept being a leader. But it was a good reminder as well about building community and how to keep supporting community and how to keep supporting democracy as well, and never ever take things for granted, number one. And the second one is, and this is churchy, but never give up.
I'll say it was my first executive role, and I hired someone who was she was maybe 80% there. Not 100%. I went on to interview probably some folks who were 100% in terms of technical ability to that particular job. And I circled back around to her, and I interviewed some more people, and I came back to her again, and I said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I said, but I feel like you need a chance on this. She started crying in the room, which made me cry. And we're still very close right now in a mentor-mentee type relationship. Out of anything else in leadership, I think it taught me the ability to take a chance and see beyond what's on paper and really try to see who that individual is and who they could be. But that transformed me probably the most, to learn how to take a chance.
When I was in college, about 20 years old, I was some kind of a course, I think it was on leadership, and they asked you to develop a credo. And I developed the credo then. That was 40 years ago, I think, something like that. Anyway, and my credo is, I am as committed to your success as I am to my own. I'm committed to my success, And my credo says, I'm also committed to your success, and that matters, and that means that you matter, and that means that you are seen and heard and valued and celebrated. And these are the things that really changed the way I decided to lead from the time I was in college. If you come to my office, or my former office, in the Department of Higher Ed, I have a very long windowsill and a very beautiful view of the mountains. And on my windowsill, I have asked all of my staff to bring in a 4x6 photo of themselves and their family, or their pet, or their significant other, and 4x6, not 8x10s. And so I have a whole slew of about 75 photos on my windowsill, because I want them to know that they are seen. And I know their families, and I know their kids, and I ask about, where's your daughter going to college, and those things, because what we have found when you study leadership, because I didn't know that you could actually study it, which I did, that when people when they do feel seen and heard, they perform better. They don't want to let you down. And the number one, if you talk about the human imperative, is that people care. And from this microphone, we heard a lot of people talk about caring and kindness and respect. Those are all the words that, as leaders, when we do that, we create a culture where people will succeed. And they know that I'm as committed to their success as I am to my own.
I hope I can speak for everybody in this room. It's time to wrap it. Oh my gosh, 5 minutes. Like 5 more questions to ask. Okay, just kidding, just kidding. Let's do this one, since we'll end on a fun note here. If you could describe, or going back to that one-word prompt, if you could describe Colorado in one word, what would be the word that you would use? And you can take some time to explain why, but this beautiful state that we live in and call home, how would you describe it? Can I start with you?
Sure.
All right, Doctor.
Yes. So I would say home. I've been here for 40 years. I've been to over 40 countries, all 50 states, and I always come back here. And so coming back to Colorado gives me hope. When you see the mountains and you see all of the changing seasons, Colorado is my home.
Beautiful.
Grit. Challenges are inherent to eventual success. Colorado's no different. And I think our ability to show grit, even though where we are right now financially, wherever we are, we will always come back. So grit.
Well, for me, it's opportunity. We moved 11 years ago. I had a 3-year-old daughter, 3-week-old, daughter when we moved as well. And if I reflect about the last 11 years in Colorado and see that I have been involved in the creation of Fish Peaks State Park, the 42nd State Park, and last year, a few months ago, launching the Colorado Strategy, which is the first ever, plan for conservation, outdoor creation, and climate resilience, together with, around 12 other partners. When you think that you can actually act upon and make a difference on future generations to come, a heavily accented, Latin man coming from Argentina as well 11 years ago, and being able to be involved and make a difference for my daughter and for future generations to come, Colorado's opportunity to me.
When I think of Colorado, for me, the word I describe it as majestic, because I landed here I couldn't pick Colorado on a map when I came here. It was totally on a fluke, and I was scared, and I was alone, but driving, and I had lived in Japan for a while and didn't have a car, so I hadn't been in the car in about 10 years, and so I'm driving, and I'm scared, and I look at the mountains, and I look at the blue sky, and then I start to engage with people. When you grow up in Detroit, you're only raised around Black people. And so in Colorado, I got to be friends with such diversity, with people from different cultures. And I just love it. And my life is filled with culture. It's filled with hope. It's filled with grit, like everyone says here. And the good thing about Colorado, anytime you're having a hard day, just go look outside, look at the mountains, and you will know that God has blessed Colorado and has blessed us for being here. Beautiful.
I would say collaborative. I've lived in so many places around the world, and people really want to see each other succeed here. They're willing to help, whether it's leaders, policymakers, regulators, the governor. They're willing to get into a room with each other and figure out ways to help each other. It's just a phenomenon that I haven't experienced anywhere else.
and I would say welcoming. We're a country of immigrants. You just need to go back in time to find when your ancestors immigrated here. But if you look at Colorado, we're a collection of immigrants and migrants too. And you see that in the leaders here. We've got Argentina, Detroit, Chicago,
New York.
Chicago, New York. And so we're a very welcoming state.
Well, one word to describe all of you is inspiring. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for Okay. Thank you for having me, and thank you guys. You were incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, how many of you cried? I cried just a little bit. Amazing. Thank you all for sharing your stories. Thank you to everyone for being here. We have drinks, food, network, get to know our leaders, get to know others, and build community. We've heard a lot about that tonight. We're very lucky to be part of such a special community and have such incredible leaders with us tonight. Thank you.